Oh, well, hello, my wonderful, beautiful broskis of the wonderful, beautiful Maverick, broskis on both sides of the wonderful, beautiful Maverick Nation. I am the Dark Shadow Maverick, and this is part 4 of What If Izuku Had a Shonen Jump Quirk. Now, part 3, in part 3, we had some recent developments, that being Super Saiyan, Pseudo Super Saiyan, and Vasto Lorde. Also, the Genki Dama. So, yeah. Basically, after all of everything, all of the crazy publicity about the USJ attack has died down, and everyone's had their break. They head back to school, and they're even told about the, UA Sports Festival. And people are excited for the UA Sports Festival. However, they don't want to fight whatever Izuku turned into whenever he died. They really don't want to fight that. And they don't want to fight whatever Izuku turned into whenever Bakugou died. They don't want to fight that either. So, yeah, people are on kind of rough wheels on how much they would actually want to participate in the sports festival. Some of the higher ranking heroes actually say that Izuku shouldn't be allowed to participate in the sports festival because he'll just mow everyone down. I mean, even with Sage mode, he was still pretty powerful. Well, and again, the other students in 1A aren't that bad either. So, the sports festival would pretty much go as it went in canon, with Izuku getting the 10 million points, like ribbon around his head, like headband around his head. And, well, whatever happens would happen. Point is, Izuku would still make it into the tournament. So his first fight would be against Shinso. And, well, seeing as Naruto can, sense evil intentions, like, Kurama inside of Naruto can kind of sense people's intentions. Yeah, Izuku would automatically know something's up whenever, Shinso tried, to start, trash talking him. And so he would just bat Shinso like a fly all the way into a wall. And it would be like, Izuku Midoriya wins. And Izuku would just be like, I win, yay, woo! So, yeah. Basically, the next fight that Izuku would have to go through would be against Shoto. And Shoto, seeing the Vestalorde form at its fullest, or at least what he considers its fullest, Shoto would be given some incentive to actually use his fire. You know, if he didn't want to be killed. And Shoto's still thinking that might not be enough. But then again, Izuku only really turned into the Vestalorde after he died. So, as long as Shoto doesn't kill him, he should be fine, question mark? But then again, there's that golden haired transformation, which Izuku really didn't explain much on what exactly that was, except for the words Super Saiyan, like the legend of the Super Saiyan has come true in him. Not only the pseudo form, but the actual form, Super Saiyan. And there was this one little hint that Izuku dropped about the power multiplier being times 100 whenever going into Super Saiyan, instead of just a times 10 whenever entering the Ozaru form, which he can no longer do because of the fact that he does not have a tail. And so Izuku and Shoto are basically like right and left of each other. They're about to square off. Midnight says go. And Izuku decides to have a little fun. Now, seeing these are fellow UA students, he's allowed to actually stretch a little, have a little fun. Like a little fun with himself. That fun being, well, Shoto goes to shoot an ice blast at him. Izuku dodges, and all of a sudden he's right in front of Shoto. And Izuku would be like, so, I guess it all leads up to this. Basically, steam would be coming off of Izuku as he would reach deep from within himself and start charging something. As all of a sudden, Shoto would feel himself no longer being able to, think properly. What is this? What is this power? And then all of a sudden he would just drop unconscious. And Izuku's like, that power, Shoto Todoroki, is conquerors haki. Yes, Izuku decided to flex his conquerors haki. Finally giving this man haki. So yeah, just Izuku decided to win by flexing his conquerors haki at Shoto, and it turns out it worked. Now for his fight against Bakugou. Well, he was going to make this one hurt a lot. But he wasn't exactly sure how at the moment. That's whenever he felt that thing in the back of his mind again. Oh yes, Furball. Kurama. Will you please give me your chakra for this fight? I feel I may need it. Or may just want to use it to experiment, have some fun with Kachan. And Kurama would want to have a front row seat to this, so be like, sure kid. And well, so the fight would start, but whenever Bakugou pulled both pins and shot the blast, whenever the smoke cleared, there would only be red swirls of energy, and Izuku would be enveloped inside of them as a face would then begin to be formed. A devilish grin of Kurama. And then it would just turn back into swirls of energy. Even more powerful than before now. And Izuku's eyes would be red. He would have claws now. His teeth would be a lot more seeable. And ultimately, Izuku would just go all primal mode on Bakugou's ass. And just have a little treat for Bakugou. Bakugou would come down with his howitzer impact as his final last ditch, last ditch effort, desperation move. Howitzer impact. But just straight into the howitzer impact would come flying towards him Izuku with a vermilion Rasengan in hand. And well, the result of these two, things clashing together, whenever all of the smoke would clear from the big blast, you just see Bakugou unconscious, and Izuku standing over him triumphantly. And that's for bullying me for over 10 years. Izuku would just then revert back out from his Kurama, tail state. Because he would realize that he had went all the way into his two-tail state. And another thing I didn't mention is that the whiskers would be more pronounced. Basically, he would have went from the one tail now all the way to the two tail just for this fight. He would have allowed it to happen just for this fight. And so, yeah, that would have been freaking boss. And the crowd would have loved it. However, that special ability to sense everything around him with his Sage Chakra, Izuku would hear about what happened to Ingenium and what Ida plans to do. He wouldn't even try to stop Ida because he would know that that wouldn't work because he's too revenge-bound. Kurama would tell him that it wouldn't be worth it. If anything, you would just make things worse. And Izuku would just be like, well then I guess I'll decide to help in another way. And so basically, taking Gran Torino's agency just because really, he doesn't have to, intern under any of these guys because of how ridiculously freaking powerful he is. But he decides Gran Torino because why the hell not? So he would be in Hosu and, be able to sense whenever Stain was emitting off his bloodlust. But Stain would feel something. He would feel an even stronger bloodlust coming back at him. And then it would seem like, all at once, several different things that are the same thing, all around him, all at once, all emitting the same amount of bloodlust, more than he could ever muster. And Stain would not know how to react to this. He would have already pretty much trashed Ida's ass, and so would he have trashed Native's ass. But that really wouldn't matter, because right before he could actually do any career-ending damage, Izuku would decide that this guy needed to go. So, basically, he just he doesn't want anyone to get any bright ideas. So he just decides, death. Yes, death. The freaking serious punch right into Stain's face. Literally killing the dude. However, Izuku was thinking that if more than just the people here knew that he killed Stain, that he killed anyone, that he would surely be arrested. So now Izuku has to live with the facts. He just killed somebody, so now he's got to go rogue. He's basically got to go missing. For long enough that people will sort of forget about him. And then he'll be able to freely scope out the area. See what else he can do in form of helping the heroes and the students in whatever way he can. However, just mere moments after Izuku would have gone rogue, and, gotten the hell out of Dodge, literally just meet Roadrunner the frick out of there. He would get a call from an unidentified number. Izuku's interest would be piqued, and so he would answer the call. He would hear a voice on the other end. It would sound strange. That's whenever the voice would speak its name. Awful One. Basically, Awful One, calling Izuku himself. Basically telling him that the League of Villains want him. And Izuku thinking that this Himako Toga girl that he had heard about in the past seems to have used the League of Villains hideout as a refuge, as the only safe place for her. Granted, she's a bloodthirsty psychopath, but whatever. So maybe this could also work the same way for Izuku. A refuge while he's going rogue. And he wants to let All For One know that that's all he's really doing this for. A place of refuge. And so Izuku and her are finally finding a little dingy location. You realize that the inside looked quite the opposite. It looked like a very quite sophisticated bar. And Izuku would think, I wonder. Then he would hear a voice say, "Hey, aren't you a little bit too young to be drinking?" And Izuku would be like, "Wait, what the? Hey, you're that smoky villain." And Kurogiri would be like, "Yes, my name is Kurogiri." And Izuku would be like, Jesus Christ. Never mind that. Besides, most teenagers drink before they're legally, supposed to be able to drink. Anyways, plus, I need something to help me drown out my sorrows. Like, it's not really all that good for me if I get too sad. My Zanpakuto doesn't like it, and if my emotions get too out of check, I might, accidentally go into Super Saiyan. And the Kurogiri would be like, "Oh, so you are the one." And then Izuku would be like, hello? Kurogiri would just be like, "Oh, yes. While I'm getting your drink, would you mind telling me more about yourself? And also, shake it or stirred?" And Izuku would be like, "Shake it, not stirred. If I'm sure you know in the movies, shake it, not stirred." And, well, is basically, Kurogiri would look, "I like this kid already." Izuku would just be like, "I'm sure you already know, shake it, not stirred. Please." And Kurogiri would be like, "Oh, well, very well. Okay, then." And, Izuku would just be sipping on his drink. Would just be having a gay old time. And by the time Shigaraki would have gotten back from doing some personal work, he would see that Izuku was slappy as all hell, really, drunk as all hell. And no, this isn't him being a lightweight. This has actually been some time gone past, and Kurogiri being afraid for his health, thinking he's going to get alcohol poisoning, because he just, downed 12 freaking, full-size cups of this shit that he's been letting him drink. And it's his 13th cup. And then he just chug, 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 chug. And basically, Mr. Compress, freaking Toga, and Dobby would just be there in the background saying, "Chug, chug, 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 chug." And then, Izuku would slam it down, and Toga would be like, "And now we have a winner chicken dinner. That's right. 13 whole cups of the stuff." I believe there's an alcoholic beverage called snake venom. I think so. Yeah, that would have been the stuff that Izuku was drinking. 13 whole cups of snake venom. Not snake venom like actual from snakes, like alcoholic beverage called snake venom. And that would have been the stuff that Izuku was chugging. 13 whole cups of. And now you're wondering why Izuku literally cannot, form a coherent sentence. Because he is drunk off his ass. And probably should be dead, but that's besides the point. Kirigiri's just like, he seems to want to use this place to seek refuge from the heroes and law enforcement whenever they figured out that he killed Stain by using his quirk. And, well, Shigaraki would just be like, he did what? No, hell no. Shit. Well, now not only is Lord Awful One gonna piss himself, but he's also gonna know that this kid just murdered Stain, and that's why he's here. Seek refuge from the heroes and, law enforcement. And All for One's like, just as long as he's on our side and not theirs. All for One actually feels kind of relieved having a weapon as powerful as Izuku on their side instead of on the side of the good guys. And they're All for One's thinking he could use this to his advantage. He could definitely use this to his advantage. Oh yes, this will be fun. Basically, All for One would say, Shigaraki, congratulations, you now have a new brother. And, Izuku would be like, about the pudding and the brother and the moo and the pudding and the Quaalude. Bleh. Phil Cosby. The pudding. Somebody put something in the pudding. Crap piles of history. So, yeah. Now it'll be solidified, basically. Shigaraki would now have himself a little brother. And Izuku, who's just really using the League of Villains base for refuge. And, now the League of Villains might have some incentive to actually protect Izuku from the heroes. They might have some incentive to actually want to do that. And well, let's just say whenever Izuku wakes up in the morning, he's gonna have a hell of a hangover. And really gonna have to go pee. So yeah, Izuku would just pretty much be unconscious there. And, well, Shigaraki would just take him over to his room, and they would kind of bunk it. Yeah, they would basically bunk. Shigaraki and Izuku, Izuku being Shigaraki's new brother, all this. So, yeah, that's how that happened. Anyways, that one's the Dallas Construction Maverick is OUT out of here. Yeah, boys, like, favorite, subscribe, click that little bell. And there's some in the comment section. And I'm gonna bounce like it's Quidditch, Quidditch, Quidditch.